So in the previous classes, we have discussed about before business rules. So in that business rules, we had a discussion about before, after. We had a discussion about these two. Today we have a few more business rules, like display business rule. So display, sorry, display business rule. What is display business rule? What is the advantage of the business rule? So we need to it. So this will execute when a form loads and a record form loads and a record loaded from database, which means, for example, whenever if you retrieve a data, so if you want to fetch the data, it should be a server side, and if you want to show it in the whenever the form load, it should be a client side. So the which means so which means whenever if you load the data in the sense whenever if you load the data from the database and you want to display it in the client side, then we will utilize the this display business rule. I hope you clear, right? Whenever if you retrieve a data from server side, you want to display it in the client side, then we will use the display business rule. If you want to execute the display business rule, we need to what they call we need to write a client script and the business rule. Client script and business rule, we need to write a combination, which means I'm sorry, we need to do. I will show you with an example this one, and the next one is the async business rule. So async async business rule. Async business rule is nothing but this will execute after the database commits a change. This will execute after database commits change. Commits change. Which means, so you want to do some operation. So the main difference between before after business rule and async business rule, after business rule will execute once the data is saved in the table as soon as immediately, but this will execute, this means async will execute uh, after the database commits change. That means it's already record is saved it, and if you want to execute it after certain amount of time, we need to write. So the most common asked interview question is after business rule difference between and async business rule. After business rule will executes once the record is inserted or updated, or async business rule it's also executes after the data record inserted update, but after the certain amount of time for it. So let's see, let's write a scenario for the async business rule. So I just opening this sorry, we just opening the so test. See, this is the Narayana we are using. So here we have seen it, and here whenever if the user is filled in charge, for example, so I'm just filling the in charge. So that's okay. If I fill in charge, what I need to do is I need to log into the I need to display this email ID in the here as a field message. I will show you. So that is the our scenario for today. So let's see how it will executes. How it will executes in the sense okay. So now I'm just going to write a client script. No, sorry. Night. I am just going to write a display business rule. So I'm just going to write like configure business rules. I'm just working a display email. I'm just writing the name is. I'm sorry, we are in a different scope. Sorry, we are in the customer service scope. It should be in the default scope. Sorry, global scope. So let me change the view. Yeah. Now we are in global scope. So I'm just opening the new record. So emailed ID display, user email, in charge email ID display. So here the same concept. I'm sorry. In charge. I'm sorry. Email ID. Display, and if you get the advanced, so then this advanced section is come, and here we can write a display, and so if you want to, you can add a condition. So right now I'm not getting condition, and actions and advanced. So now what is the logic for it? First we need to fetch what was the value as entered in the user. So here we have an option called scratchpad. The underscore scratchpad is nothing but it's a global variable which is used to for the one g underscore scratchpad dot email equal to, so g underscore scratchpad is a variable which is in the global variable, which means global variable is nothing but, so we can call it an anywhere. So there are two types of variables. First one is a local variable which will be used in the same script, and if it is a global variable we can call it in the somewhere. So now I'm just waiting. If you want to get the current value, current dot current dot get display of, so in charge email id. So if you want to one, In charge, we can use the dot walk-in. U underscore in underscore in charge. In charge dot email. That means what are the value we have entered? It was now what happened? What was the email ID we have fetched from here? Now I'm just going to save this one. Now the next step is we need to display this email ID from there. If you want to configure, and again I'm just going to the client script. So in charge display. So in charge email display. So if you want to write a client script, we need to show the field message. So if you want to show the field message, g underscore form dot show field message. Show field message see displays either an information or error under the specified field, either a control or object of the field. So typical type may be info or error. It will be one. So which means so we will display the one. So I'm just going to show field message. So what was the field we need to display? We need to display the field name was in charge. So I'm just copying that in charge, comma. What we need to display, whatever we have written this one, right? G underscore scratchpad dot email. What was the value has fetched from here? So we can copy them here. You see. Now I'm just going to save this one. So when this onload client script will executes, whenever the form is loaded. So now what I'm going to do is okay. So let me ping you the in charge. Okay, very good. In charge was there. So I'm just opening this record as Manikanta. See, this is the use of this form. So like this will be coming as the one. So for this one, what we have written. So in that first we have written a display business tool. In that display business tool, from the G underscore scratchpad, G underscore scratchpad is the variable, which is a global variable, which will be called as a global variable, and the we can use it anyone. So G underscore scratchpad is a global variable. We can use this one, and there are two types of variables. First one is a local variable, and second one is the global variable. Local variable is nothing but which will be if you define a variable, it will be executed in the same script only. But global variable is the which is defined as a global. We can define it in any way. So now we can see G underscore scratchpad and current dot get display value. So what is the display value we are getting? U underscore in charge dot email. That means we use the dot walk-in, and what is the value we have given? We have fetched it from the email ID field. Now the next step was what we need to do. So for this one, we have written a client script which is an onload, and once the I'm sorry, once it was loaded, so we need to display a message as a like this one. And if you want to, we can add an email ID and phone number, whatever it may be, we can add in. For example, I'm sorry. G underscore scratch pad. Okay, I'm just not getting. So I'm just copying this entire one. So I'm just making email out of phone. So I'm just here. I'm just opening a in charge. Okay, I don't think. Okay, so I think email ID will not run. Okay, phone number. I'm just adding 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So, so mobile underscore phone. Mobile underscore phone. Now, we just show it. Same thing. We need to display it the phone. So for G underscore, the same thing. So see, so it was kept like that. If you want to display, we can use the same thing one. This is the scenario where we can use the all the details for this one. Okay, I hope you got it or any confusion still. I hope you guys clear, right? What is a display business tool? How we can use it? This is the one of the most common asked interview question. They will ask the scenario also. You can explain the same scenario which we have discussed. Now, what we have to do? So the next type of business tool, which is a async business tool. Async business tool will is nothing but it will be executed after a certain amount of time. So here, what I am going to do is I'm just going to async business tool. Okay. So I'm just opening Narayana and so here I have hostel field. Once we have, for example, okay. So incident closer is set, and after the 1 minute the record is saved. It we need to mark it as a false. So right now I'm just making as a save. After the 1 minute, so we need to mark it as a false. So for that one, what we have to do? So we have to write a business rule. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So for that one, we will write a one business rule. So I'm just going to configure and business rule. So that means once the record is saved, it after certain amount of time, it has to execute it. So I'm just making incident closer after 10 seconds, for example. Sync. If I am going to facing after the update, so what I am going to do is so I'm just making this field as a the condition is incident closer is true. Actions is not there. So here, if you want to do it after 10 seconds, for example, so what we need to do is gs dot sleep. Gs dot sleep is nothing but see ps.sleep will be used to how many seconds the script has to execute it. I'm just gs.sleep is I'm just making it 10 seconds. So after that, what we need to do is we need to execute it. We need to change it on current dot current current dot u underscore incident closer equal to true. So we are just making this current dot events underscore closer as a true. We'll do it and current dot update. Current dot update will update the records for it. So now here, let's see. I'm just opening this one. Just closing these two. I think we don't require. So no need. Just opening Sanjay. Okay, I'm just making this true. And current dot update, and I'm just going to save this one. Oh my god, total exceeds. Okay. There is a one more business rule executing. So okay, I'm just making as a true and I'm just going to say, oh my god, this also has issue. So now what happened? It was auto saved it, and we need to wait for a 10 seconds to do the same thing for it. I think still it is not 10 seconds is there. Mm, okay, let's wait for a few more things. So see what we have done it. We have written as a true. In the script also we have written as a true. That's a mistake. So we just made it as a false and save it. So true. And I'm just going to save this one. Let's wait for 10 more seconds. Seven, six. Async and update. Instant closure is true. And okay, so same value route. 10, 9, 8. See why it was called sorry. Why this was went? This was went for the by using the this script. This script in the sense display. Sorry, not a display. So this is the from the async business rule. This was went marked as a false one. This is the async business rule for this was same thing. So this is the basic thing. So yeah. So you got it or any confusion? So this is the async and display business rule. So you guys have clear understanding of these two business rules, because this is the very important thing when come to the interview point of view. The interviewer may ask what is the display business rule and what is the advantage of it, or he will ask what is the what I can say. Oh, what I can say, I forgot it. Yeah, what is the async difference between async and this business rule? This business rule is in the sense async and after business rule. Async will after certain amount of time, and async will be executed as soon as possible at the once the record as soon as the record is inserted or updated. So this is the basic thing about the all the thing we have to execute it. I hope you guys clear what is the async business rule and display business rule. Any questions till now? What we discussed? Any questions? Okay, very good. Now, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you guys clear, right? Okay, very good. Now, now the next step was, whenever if you are writing a business rule, we have seen it. There is operations. So you can see insert is nothing but whenever the record is inserted, it will execute. If it is a update, whenever the record is updated, it will execute. If it is deleted, whenever the record is deleting, it will execute. Here we have a query. What is a query? Whenever what is the use of the query business rule? Whenever if you query the table, so the user will be operations will be executed the same thing one. So for example, so what we can say, okay, so I'm just impersonating as one of the end user. So end user, I'm just going to the test user, a demo test. So for the demo test, he doesn't have any incident table access. So if he created an incident, it will be visible to him. So see, the incident will be visible to the user here. But when we check the incident table access, whether the user has the control or access or not, how we can restrict a user records, user access in ServiceNow by using the access control list. So if you check this access control list on the incident table, let's see whether the user has the read access or read access or not. So I'm just opening the incident. I'm just going to the incident, configure, go to the security rules. So first read access. So the table is incident. So I'm just going to the incident, and I'm just making as a read access. If you want to read access, let's check how many users can create a record on it. So this is the one. So if you want to read it as per this SCL, the user should have ITL role. That's fine. And the next one is, so let's see, one, two, three, four, five. See if you want to if you want to read an SCL, so caller or on the wall the user should have essence underscore internal role. Let's see. And next one, if you want to user access the ml underscore report user, this also doesn't have. This also we need to check. SR underscore incident read. This is another rule, and this is the essence underscore read. So which means, so if you want to do the role, let's see. Let's open that user record. What are the roles he has? So just now what we did is we just created an incident, right? Okay, so we'll open this incident. There is the demo instance. The caller is demo test. What is the role he has? Let's check. Okay, since he has the SNC underscore internal role, he can able to read the role. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to remove this role. Let's impersonate it as a user. How it will works. See, if the user has doesn't have any role also, he can able to access the incident tape. Why? How he has access it? How he has access it? Which means whenever if you open this one, whenever if you click on this one, this is the incident table. We are querying the table. If you are querying the table, what was the query business rule has written it, it will execute it. What is the query operation on the incident table has written, it will be automatically executed. So which means if you open this one, so I'm just going to check the what are the query business rules written for the incident table. Incidents, I'm just opening this one, and I'm just going to checking the operation is query is true. So and this is not required, and query is true. So incident query. So this is an out of the box business rule. Let's see. Query we have written, and what was the advanced script we have written? See here. See here, if the user has doesn't have ITL role or these are our roles. So in the add query, what we have written? See here, caller ID is true. U is nothing but the logged user, or opened by is logged user, or watch list contains the logged user. So I think we have not used a gs.user ID. What is the method? So we can discuss in the next class. gs.user ID, what is the advantage? So here caller ID, that means if the user is logged as a caller ID, so then it will display. Or so okay, simple thing. So what we have to do is if the user is if the user is a logged user, is a caller ID, that means as in the caller list, so it will display. Or if the opened by is the logged user, it will be show it. Or if the incident is in the watch list, contains the user logged user, it will display it. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide this script, and I'm just going to save this one. Now what we can do is I'm just going to impersonating as a same demo user. So hey, why it is displaying? I'm just impersonating this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to inactivate this business rule. I'm sorry. Okay, I think something is written in the back end. Let's see. Okay, so okay, I think by default the essence underscore role is coming. So due to this role, it will be executed. So if I remove this one, if I remove also, it will come automatically. If I think they have written it, then as some out of the box return script. So right now there is no use. So I think its role is coming as automatically. So there is some script was returning. So due to this role, it was showing as one. But generally, we can write a script for it. So this is the basic thing about query business rule. So this is the main concept. The query business rule is an operation, one of the operation. So whenever the user is queried the table, what is the display trend? The main difference between ACL and business rules, query business rule, ACL, if you show something security constraints, remove some rows, there is something message will display and it will not efficient. But this query business rule, whenever the record is whenever the table is queried, it will display the same thing one. This is the main fundamental of the basic concepts. So you guys understood the query business rule before query business rule, query operation, and before sorry, async and display business rule. Till now, any questions? Okay, so I'm treating as a no. So if no questions, so kindly please practice the same topic today what I discussed. Okay, okay guys.